Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? Man, welcome to the winning shot, man. We got the playoffs coming up this weekend, December 20th and 21st. We got our first four games: Clemson versus Texas, Tennessee versus Ohio State, SMU versus Penn State, and Indiana and Notre Dame. How your boys feeling about the playoffs altogether? Like the whole change in format, this being the new year of the 12-team playoffs. Some people talking about teams got snubbed. Everybody else saying we should have gone to 16. How y'all feeling overall?
You want to start, Hundo? You want me to start it off?
Uh, I feel good about it. I feel like people are just never gonna be satisfied. It's always gonna be something. But I feel good. I think this is gonna be a good college football playoff. I think it's wide open for real. So we're gonna see, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hundo was hit the nail on the head when said people are never going to really be satisfied. Think back to when we had BCS and it was really just the top two teams. Then they finally like, okay, we'll cave in and give you all the four teams that make the playoffs. And you kind of go from there. And now it's like, okay, we're going to give you all 12 teams. And people are like, well, I still want more. And it's like, I mean, what you want, bro? Like all, all the
Hey,
whole 20, top 25 to be in the
hey,
playoffs? Like,
hey, this man Cam Ward talking about some. Yeah, they need to add more teams, bro. Be better.
I'm telling you.
Like, come on,
I'm telling
dog.
you. Like,
What are we talking about, bro?
yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
bro. I really think this forces teams to really want to be in the conference championship even more. You know what I'm saying? And we'll kind of get into that a little bit as you go into this Clemson matchup. But like you said, you got to be on your P's and Q's throughout the season. And like, if you're not, he cooks. So
Yeah. Nah, I agree, bro. I feel like this is the one year. If you number 13 and on, you really don't have an argument. Like you at least get two losses in order to still compete for the playoffs. So any team
yeah,
that didn't make it, like yes, you might have seemed like you got snubbed, but you had an opportunity to get in. Like
hmm
this was the computer or any voter is getting you out. This was you making a mistake and not getting in.
thanks.
I saw Alabama fans were saying that they should have got in over SMU, but I'm like, man, y'all lost to Oklahoma bad, and y'all lost to Vandy. So it's like
About to
those two.
say, yeah, yeah,
Be honest, right? But do
yeah,
y'all feel
man.
like there was any big snubs in this playoff?
Snubs, no, but there were teams I definitely would have liked to see in the playoffs for sure. Starting off with Colorado, man, I really wanted to see Shador and the boys make the playoffs. But like you talked about a few minutes ago, man, had they handled their business against Kansas, they could have made it to their conference championship in the Big 12 and had the opportunity to make the playoffs. So it's like sucks, but I mean it's kind of y'all fault. You know what I'm saying? So same thing. But honestly, I would have liked to see Cam Ward in the playoffs. I would have liked to see these guys who are in the Heisman conversation have the opportunity to show themselves in the playoffs. I think that's a bigger stage for you to shine. You know what I'm saying? I know that the Heisman is a regular season award, but I think that a couple of those guys, really just Cam Ward and Travis, would have had a good opportunity to show the world because now everybody's able to watch these games. You know what I'm saying? In the playoffs, to show the world what they can really do against good competition. So, but it is what it is.
I
Kind of
will
what about
also just throw in South Carolina too. Uh,
mm, mm,
that defense was crazy.
yeah, yeah,
Norris with his feet can make things happen.
yeah.
They had some close games versus Alabama and LSU. They got smacked by Ole Miss, of course, but yeah, I would have liked to see them in. I think they could have possibly got an upset and possibly did something in the college football playoff.
yeah,
They were one of the hottest teams in
Yeah,
college football. So
that's
yeah.
facts.
Yeah, I don't think there was any big snubs. Like I said, like the only argument I probably could have made was Alabama, but y'all lost three games. Only thing I would want moving forward is like I wish all of these teams would kind of have the same kind of strength of schedule, right? Because if I'm like a SEC team, I'll be like, okay, these Pac-12 teams. Well, like I think Boise State is what Mount West Conference.
mhm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like Boise State and like the ACC not playing the same kind of schedules as these Big Ten and SEC teams. So if you can
Well,
kind of
so
like condense the schedules and make it more equal in terms of all right, who is the best and who's playing the same kind of teams, then I would say, that would be a better format than just letting teams in auto bids, right? And so speaking of auto bids, man, that's a perfect segue into our first game. So we know as Clemson graduates, man, that Clemson was definitely down and out, especially after that, South Carolina game.
Yeah.
Losing at home to South Carolina, going 9-3, I believe. Clemson was
Hmm.
like a 1% chance to get into the playoffs, but thank God that Syracuse went and beat Miami. And so after Syracuse won, Clemson was able to get into the playoff with the auto bid. But now they face a tough test. They have to go into Austin. Texas is an 11.5 point favorite. So with our first game, man, who y'all got in that Clemson Texas game?
Texas.
Short and sweet, huh?
Hey, they was talking about K's going back to Texas, 3 picks.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
That boy gonna try to put the cape on. He gonna fold.
Yeah.
Maffa hurt too. Yeah, give me Texas.
Hey, Maffa is hurt, and Hayes is out. He tore his ACL.
Who?
The backup running back, Hayes.
That's crazy.
For sure.
So the ball gonna be in K hands.
Yeah, ball's gonna be in K hands a lot.
Yep.
Ball gonna be in K hands a lot.
3 picks.
3 picks.
This is my only thing, man. I'm a Clemson. Y'all know I'm a big Clemson fan, man, and I want to be optimistic. I really want to be optimistic.
You being delusional.
Especially after that SMU game, bro. Because we came out and we really putting the belt out. We really pulled the belt out like that first half, and then second half, totally different team. And that's my whole issue with Clemson this entire year is that they've been inconsistent, and then 2, they get into some games they have no identity. You know what I'm saying? And like we was in that first half of that game, we were really dominant in the air. They couldn't stop us, right? Second half, it was like, who is this team? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the freshman kicker from the 704 that won the game with that 50-plus yard field goal. You know, shout out to 704. Anyway, that's not the point. I want to take Clemson in this game. I really, really, really do, man. But knowing that we got these injuries at running back. Now, here's my thing also. Me personally, Texas is good, but as we kind of had a conversation off camera about, I don't necessarily trust them all the way. Like, they got home field advantage, so I think that gives them a big boost. I think that's another thing we have to talk about this playoffs too, is that these first round of playoff games are not neutral sites. You know what I'm saying? We got to go to the University of Texas, which is going to be no easy feat. So that's going to be a whole other thing that we got to contend with. Is their fans, their stadium. They know all the ins and outs, and so they have an advantage in that way. And I think that's going to play a part in that game for sure. I think if our defense shows up and our offense can be stable, we got an opportunity. But I think that's a big ask. You know what I'm saying? For them to have 2 of those things. So it's really going to be interesting and intriguing to see what we do against their offense and how Quinn Ewers and them boys going to come out with Texas. But for me personally, my pick, I'm going to go Clemson because I'm a Clemson graduate. And I know that's cliche, I know that's whatever, but I'm going to have a little hope, a little faith, and say we pull off a crazy upset because it will be a crazy upset if it happens. So,
hey, you want to bet on that?
Did you want to bet on the Ravens and the Broncos?
No,
okay, I'm sorry. We'll come back to that. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, I'm with Hundo, man. Clemson has to go into Austin. I think the game's over at halftime, honestly, because Maffa hands out, and Makuba and that defense, they're gonna try to make a statement. And I think Texas, in terms of their entire roster, has way more depth than Clemson. And so I think like if them boys come out and get smacked in the mouth, I just don't think there's any like coming back because they just got too much to handle with Clemson. I mean, they too much to handle with Texas, bro. So what's y'all score predictions, Hundo?
Score predictions.
Let me go see what Texas has been doing. First of all, let me see. I'm gonna say 34-21 Texas.
Okay. Yeah. John? I was gonna say something similar with a Clemson win. I was gonna say 30-27 overtime.
Overtime. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you think it's gonna be real close?
If I'm going with the Clemson win, it's definitely gonna be close. So yeah. I gotta be honest about that. 30-27 overtime.
They gonna make you sweat.
Indeed.
I'm gonna go 28-17 Texas. I think it's close at first, and then Texas starts to widen it out. So Arizona State will be awaiting the winner of that game, and because Arizona State received the bye, they won't be playing this week. So that transitions us to the next game, Tennessee and Ohio State. So Ohio State is coming off a tough loss versus Michigan. Everybody says that the pressure is on Ohio State, and some people had, Ohio State winning it all. Like they had one of the top NIL rosters at the beginning of the season, and like ever since the loss to Oregon, ever since the loss to Michigan, people are questioning if they have the opportunity to even beat Tennessee in this first round. Tennessee got a solid team. They beat Alabama, beat some other teams in the SEC, but they also have some losses versus Arkansas. I forget who. I think they lost to Georgia, I believe, Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So both teams kind of comparable in terms of roster, but I
Yeah.
definitely believe that the pressure is on Ohio State. The better market has Ohio State -7. The game is in Ohio State. Hundo, who you got?
I think this is a toss up for real, but I'm gonna go with Will Howard and Ohio State, man. I know they coming off a loss to Michigan. Know their offensive line been struggling all season, but I don't know. I've been on the Ohio State train this season. I think they'll get it done, man. I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, John.
What Lee Course will say, not so fast, buddy. I'm gonna go Tennessee, man. I used to live in Tennessee for the past 2.5 years, man. Those fans are die hard about the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, bro. But in all honesty, this season here, bro, the roster's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, the roster's decent. I feel a lot better about Tennessee going into Ohio State than I do about Clemson going into Texas. And I say that because while offensively Ohio State got some dogs, Jeremiah Smith, notable. Uh, Judkins, notable. Um, so I mean, they got guys on the offense, right? Defensively, don't necessarily know what the identity is full time. I watched some games this year. I was like, that's interesting. And what I can say about the Tennessee offense is that Nico is tough. Nico is tough. I like his game. Samson, dog. Samson's a dog out there. They got some speed at receiver. I like, and defensively, they got some dogs on that side of the field too. So I think because they play SEC style of ball, they're gonna come out smash mouth in that first quarter, first half, just test them boys out. So it's really gonna be like Hundo said, it can really be a toss up. But I'm taking Tennessee personally
Yeah,
to come in and get the upset.
I will add too though, like I think the home field is gonna play a factor in it too.
Yeah,
Uh,
indeed.
Possibly the weather, depending on how cold it is. So yeah.
yeah. So I'm actually go Tennessee too, and I actually think Hundo, what you said is a great point, but I think it's actually going to work to Tennessee's advantage because I feel like if Tennessee can come out early, like if they get the first possession and they score a touchdown, all them Ohio State fans are going to be booing Ryan Day, and they're going to be mad. And I feel like Ohio State's going to be real tight for the rest of the game. And the thing,
I'm
like
telling
John
you.
said, with Sampson and with Nico, them boys can put up points. And I feel like they get out early, like Ohio State. I've never seen Ohio State this year have to come from behind with a big margin. So yeah, I'm gonna take Tennessee for that upset, and I think that definitely there will be some real questions about Ohio State and Ryan Day's future, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because he spent so much money on the roster and have a first round exit. It's gonna be definitely embarrassing.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
y'all's? Go ahead.
The trenches is gonna be important in this game.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee got a good defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State been struggling, offensive line. It's gonna come down to the trenches in this game, I think. So we're gonna see.
word. What's y'all's score predictions for this game?
Yeah. Me personally, I'm gonna go Tennessee 31-21.
Hundo?
I'm gonna go Ohio State 28-24.
Word. I'm gonna go 24-23 Tennessee. I think it's gonna be like a last second field goal, something like that.
Mm,
Gonna be something walk off because I think this game's gonna be close, but it's really gonna be Ohio State trying to come from behind the whole game.
mm.
All right, so that is the first half of the bracket. Obviously, the winner of those two games will be playing Oregon. So right here, I want to stop, man. I'll ask y'all boys. So everybody been saying that Oregon got the short end of the stick, being the number one seed. They're going to have to play the winner of Tennessee and Ohio State versus, on the bottom of the bracket, you got SMU, Penn State, Boise State, Indiana. So do you think it's fair how the committee, everything shook out for Oregon to have to be the number one seed, but still have to play Ohio State and Tennessee?
I mean, me personally, bro, if you a dog, you're gonna be a dog no matter who in front of you. You feel what I'm saying? I also feel like me personally, Oregon's not that good. But
Yeah,
we talked about this earlier as well. That I don't think there's really a dominant team college football wise in this playoff. It's not like a when years ago Alabama was like, oh, it doesn't matter who's in front of them, they're gonna dog with anybody. I don't think there's a team in this playoff that's like, oh yeah, I can clearly see them destroying who's in front of them. I don't think we have that in this particular playoff. So I don't know if they got a shortener of the stick versus this is how the numbers played out. You know what I'm saying? They played really good during the season, and they won a lot of games. So your reward is play who you got.
Right.
So the way they decided the bracket shook out for them, it's like I don't I don't think that Ohio State puts fear in their heart because I think they beat Ohio State if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
By one.
So yeah, so I mean, you did it one time, do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's a neutral site this time. So, you know, but yeah, that's me.
Cool.
I think you can look at it and definitely say that they did get the short end of the stick. Like John said, though, it's not really a dominant team out there. But like, I mean, shoot, you look at Boise State, for example, you get SMU or Penn State, or you get if you're Georgia, you get Georgia, or you get Indiana or Notre Dame. So I mean, yeah, you can look at it and say they got a tough draw. But
Yeah.
we gonna see, man. I would like to see Ohio State and Oregon rematch again. That was a good game earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Ohio State definitely could have won it, but some late game clock management situations just didn't work out. But I would love to see a rematch. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I think, like John said, man, you play who's in front of you. And because they got the Rose Bowl, either Ohio State or Tennessee, Oregon's going to have the home field advantage, right? It's on the West Coast. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you just got to keep winning. That's what this whole playoff's about. Because even if you were reseeded, you probably still will get Ohio State and Tennessee because they're the 8 and 9 seed. They would be presumably, if there's no upsets, you would still have to play Tennessee or Ohio State if they reseeded like the NFL.
Right.
So Oregon's got the bye. So going to the bottom of the bracket, we got SMU and Penn State. Penn State lost in the Big Ten championship, so they moved to the 6th seed, and SMU lost in the ACC championship. So they're going to be playing against each other. That game is at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Penn State is the early favorite at 8.5. I'm gonna just go ahead and say, man, I think that this is the game I circle. I just don't know, right? Because SMU has one of the highest rated offenses in the league. And obviously, some of that is versus the ACC, but Penn State, we know James Franklin in big games, and we know they are not the best. They lost to Ohio State while being up in the fourth quarter, and they've like throughout James Franklin's whole tenure, they've always come short in the big game. So I'm gonna let y'all boys go first, but man, I bet circle this game. I don't know. This is a toss up right here to me. I think it's gonna be closer than what people think. John, what you think?
It's no toss up for me. I got Penn State big at the crib. I
Really?
have no faith in SMU to come into Penn State in their whiteout because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a whiteout.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and beat them boys. And like we talked about earlier, now the same SMU team that let Clemson beat them boys in the ACC championship, and Clemson was putting belt too for the first half of that game. I
Yeah.
don't foresee them boys going to Penn State. No easy place to play. The boys down from Texas. They got to go out there in the cold potentially on a Saturday.
Yeah.
12 o'clock. It's gonna get. I think it's gonna get ugly.
Hey, John.
Early.
Do you think they will have a hangover from the Clemson L?
I think the hangover could play a part, but even if it doesn't, I don't think that Penn State gonna play with them boys. I'm not gonna hold you. I really think it's gonna get bad. This was the one I was like, oh, this is gonna be close.
So do you think this is gonna be the worst? You think it's gonna be the worst margin in terms of first games? Like
no,
the worst.
It's not gonna be the worst margin, but I don't think this is gonna be close either. I think the last 2 games, the bottom 2 games, aren't gonna be as good as the top 2 games. And I'll get to the next game after this one. I think the next game will be worse, but this one ain't gonna be good either.
Ooh. I know what you think.
Man, I think it's actually gonna be closer than what John think, but I'm still going with Penn State. I think that's gonna be a tough environment to win in. The cold and the number of fans that's gonna be out there, like it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be loud. So I like Penn State. Drew at quarterback, I think he's gonna be able to make some plays. I do like Kevin Jennings at quarterback for SMU, but I don't think he's gonna be able to make enough plays to beat Penn State. So I like Penn State in this one.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, I'm just looking at the bracket, man. If SMU win that game, that SMU Boise State game is gonna be nasty work, man. I don't know who's gonna be watching that game.
Lowest rating.
Right.
People watching because of Jincy though.
Yeah, that's true. But that means like
do we want to see Jincy versus SMU though?
People want to see Jincy in general because he was a Heisman favorite. and he won the popular vote or the fan favorite vote. So people
Yeah.
want to see him.
Yeah, but I think they would beat SMU. I don't think that would be close.
You think this gonna be close?
But he about to run for 300 yards on SMU.
Because SMU don't have no defense. Like, I mean, Haynes was getting off the first half with the Clemson game.
You
That's
you
what
know
I'm
Jets
saying.
about to run it 30 times for 350 on them, bro. 4 touchdowns, bro. You about to go crazy on SMU. What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still debating it. I mean, I'll go Penn State for now, but I'm still looking at it. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna be with Wadat, but there definitely is gonna be a lot of fans there. It's just the thing with SMU is like their offense. I don't know. I've never seen like Penn State like go to toe to toe with a high octane offense. Like I didn't watch the Big Ten championship, so I wasn't able to see what they were doing versus Oregon. But I saw it was a high scoring game. So I don't know. I'll go Penn State, but I'll go real close. And I think it's gonna be like one of those games where SMU should have won and something happened at the end where Penn State pulls it out. All right, so go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say I know you said high octane offense, but I don't think SMU offense better than Oregon offense.
Yeah. Oh no. All right. So what's y'all's score predictions for this game?
Like I said, I think it's gonna get bad. So I'm gonna go 42-17.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Like I said, them boys, they gotta come to Penn State, bro. I don't think it's gonna be close, bro. I really don't. I don't think it's gonna be close. Yeah, I'm gonna say 42-17. I'm gonna stamp that.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know how much SMU gonna score, but I think Penn State can get up to like 35. I'll say SMU gets 27. I can see that happening. 35-27. I go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 38-31. Penn State. Yeah. All right. So Boise State's got the bye. They were another one of the automatic bids, so they won't be playing this week. They'll be playing the winner of the SMU Penn State game. So that goes to our last game on Friday, actually. And that's the standalone game, Indiana at Notre Dame. This is going to be a home state battle in Indiana. Indiana obviously has had a rocky season. They were 11-0, I think, before they played Ohio State. And then, as we know, Notre Dame had probably the worst loss of the season, losing against Northern Illinois. But ever since then, they've been undefeated. They had some quality wins versus Texas A&M, and Notre Dame is a -7-point favorite going into the game. Who y'all boys got for the last game standalone on Friday?
Y'all know when we see whoopings as a kid, and he's trying to put your hand away in your pants, like move your hand.
Put your hand on that bed.
Put your hand.
I'm gonna give you something to cry about.
Right. I think it's gonna get real bad for Indiana. I think Pitt. Who's they playing? I'm sorry, Notre Dame. They got to up in Indy. Yeah, I know it's two Indiana schools for sure. But when they get on that bus and take that little 30-minute drive over to Notre Dame, and they get off the bus and go inside the stadium, move your hand.
Move your hand. Move your hand.
I think it's gonna get real bad for Indiana. I think they had a good season, better than a lot of people thought that they would ever have. I ain't gonna lie, I surely wasn't paying attention to Indiana to start the season off. So I mean, they surprised me how good they were. But when they played some real competition in Ohio State, what happened?
Got that belt.
I think that they about to go to Notre Dame, get another belt. Move your hand. I'm gonna call this the move your hand game. Personally, I'm gonna give you my score prediction now. I think it's gonna be 56-3.
56-3.
That's crazy.
3, yes.
That's crazy.
Hold on, let me check the Ohio State game real quick before I give y'all that. Hold on. How bad Ohio State beat them? Let me see.
Hey, all y'all listening, if y'all got FanDuel money, put it on Notre Dame according to John.
Please. If you want an easy win,
lock it in.
Lock it in.
You bet $100 and get that back. I promise you.
Hey,
all right,
hey John, you refunding the people money if they don't win?
Bet at your own risk. State beat them boys 38-15. Okay, so 56 might be a little high. 42-3. Move your hand. Move your hand.
Where Hunter, how you feeling about the game, bro?
I like Notre Dame too. I'm a big fan of Riley Leonard. I like his game. When he was in the ACC, he was at Duke, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like John said, we saw what happened with Indiana when they played some comp in Ohio State. They lost. So yeah, give me Notre Dame. They've been hot. They've been on fire. Coach just got an extension, so give me Notre Dame.
Yeah, man, I'm with both of y'all boys because I don't know. Indiana has had this kind of false confidence and they ain't really play nobody. And when they played Ohio State, I just was not impressed. And I think what Kirk City's doing this season, it was like cool. But obviously, having all those transfers, they weren't really playing anybody, so it looked good. But I think when he got down to it versus Ohio State game, they didn't really have no firepower, nothing that can compete versus the top team. So I don't think it's the move your hand game, but I think it does get ugly. My score prediction, I'm gonna go 31-14. I feel like it's probably gonna be like a 2-score game throughout the game, like throughout the whole game, and then Notre Dame's just gonna pull away late. You gave your score.
I'm gonna go 28-10. 28-10.
28-10. All right, so John, correct me if I'm wrong. You got Clemson, right?
Yeah, I got Clemson. Close game.
Tennessee.
Yep, Tennessee.
All right, Penn State,
and Notre Dame.
All right, and Hunter, you got Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what game are y'all most looking forward to watching this weekend?
Ohio State, Tennessee.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's gonna be the best game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out of the ones that we've named, I definitely think that's gonna be the best game. And the surprise game for me would be Clemson, Texas. I
don't think that's gonna be a surprise.
That's gonna be
that might be a move your hand game right there.
What I'm saying is because I think Clemson will win, it's gonna be a surprise game. I don't foresee the other two teams going into these hostile environments, i.e., Indiana and SMU. I don't foresee them teams going into those. I just don't think they have strong enough teams to go into those places. Especially in watching SMU versus Clemson last week. I don't think it's gonna be working for them too well. Yes, they have a great offense. Their quarterback's tough, makes some great throws, but he also had a lot of bad throws. So yeah. Like I said, I think the biggest factor for each one of these games is going to be the fact that you have to go into the other team's house. This is the first time they've done that in college football. You know what I'm saying? This is the new wrinkle with this 12-team playoffs, and so it's like that's going to be the biggest thing is they have to go into Ohio State, go into Notre Dame, go into Texas, go into I missed somebody. It don't matter, but you still got to go into that school and win. So facing those fans, facing that weather condition, facing that crowd, you really got to have something in you to do that. So, I'm telling you.
The only thing that sucks though is like I was reading this article and they said with the Ohio State Tennessee game, it's not the Ohio State organization doesn't control the game. They're controlled by the CFP, and the CFP is trying to make it like a bowl game, so they control the number of tickets and like the seating and stuff like that. So even though it's a home game, like it might not feel like a true home game, like if it was a Big Ten regular season game.
Makes sense.
Out of this first round, do y'all think that any of these teams that are playing in the first weekend can win the national championship, or do y'all think it'll come from one of the bye teams?
Me personally, I would need to see what Tennessee and Ohio State game looks like. I don't have any faith in Notre Dame to win the championship. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have any faith in Penn State to win the championship. I also need to see what Texas looks like if they beat us. So I'll have to see what they look like as well. But out of maybe one of those three teams has the opportunity, but I don't have any faith in the other teams. Even if Clemson win this game, we're not winning that championship. So I can be honest and say that for sure. But I don't think that any other teams have a chance. I saw it because Texas, potentially Ohio State, and I don't think Tennessee wins the national championship either. So it's really just Texas and Ohio State for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Texas. Clearly, they have one of the easier paths. If they can get past Clemson, got Arizona State. Assume they've beaten Arizona State.
Yeah.
I think a Texas and Oregon potential matchup could be pretty good, but I can see Texas beating Oregon and getting to the national championship. So I would say Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texas as well. I think top to bottom they have the best roster with all the teams that are playing in the 12 team playoff. And like Hundo said, man, playing Clemson or Arizona State and then having to play Oregon in the third round, that's probably the best path out of all the teams. So I definitely think that. And the thing is, the semifinals, I'm looking at it now. If they had to play Oregon in the third round, it's in Texas at the Cotton Bowl. So
Mm.
for Texas, so I think the odds are stacking up for Texas. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be that's the one team I can see winning national championship from the first.
Question for y'all: coming out of this weekend, what do you think the storylines is going to be?
um, I would say for me, man, the biggest storyline is probably going to be the future of Ryan Day, because I have Tennessee winning, and I think that things are going to get ugly up north in Ohio State. People are going to be questioning, if they should bring him back, if they spend all this money for what's next year going to look like, because you're going to be losing Will Howard, you're going to be losing some of the players on defense. So then that's going to be the biggest shock of the weekend.
Yeah. For me, the only storylines that could come out of this for me would be if one of these teams upset one of these top teams. So if Indiana were to upset, they're playing again. I'm tripping. Um,
Notre Dame.
yep, Notre Dame. If SMU was go Independence State and upset, we would upset Texas. I think those are the only storylines. I don't think that Tennessee beating Ohio State. Yes, I think that the future Ryan Day would come into question, but I feel his future's been in question for a while now. So for me, I think the only other big storylines would be if one of those teams upset. So
I would just probably add what we just kind of talked about: Texas being a true national championship contender.
mm,
I think that could be a big storyline if they get past Clemson. I think that'll be a conversation to be had with them having Arizona State next, and then potentially Oregon or Ohio State or Tennessee, whoever wins.
yeah,
Y'all think there was a team outside of the 12 that could have won the national championship had they been in?
No.
I don't think so. I think like talked about from the beginning, but I think the best 12 made it in. I mean, I really do. The only question I personally had was SMU because they got beat in their championship game, and I feel like everybody else that was in the CFP won their championship game, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
Well, Texas didn't. Texas won the
Yeah,
SEC,
yeah, they lost, but
so but I mean it was
they
Texas,
yeah,
so
they were ranked high enough to
yeah,
where they didn't drop out. But
that's what I'm
I
saying.
think also like one of the committee members was saying that like if a team isn't playing on championship weekend, they're not gonna be able to move. So it's just like you
Yeah,
already knew that you wasn't gonna be able to get in anyways because you're
yeah,
not playing for a championship. So it's like
exactly.
it is what it is. He
Mm-hmm.
had mistakenly said that like last week during like the
Mm,
before the final
yeah,
rankings came out or whatever.
yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, I think like just moving forward, just looking at Boise State and Arizona State, I feel like if a Big Ten team or an SEC team wins the national championship, those commissioners are definitely going to be like, we deserve those 4 slots. Like if you're outside of the Big Ten and SEC, you should not get an automatic bid, in my opinion. But I mean, because I'm just looking at Boise State's schedule. Yet, even though they play Oregon close, they're not playing the same schedule as all these teams. Like, even in the
Yeah,
ACC, I just feel like those automatic bids should be factored in for the top teams because even though Boise State is ranked number 3 in the polls, they weren't. I mean, in the playoff, they're not ranked number 3 in the polls. So I feel like it should just be 1 through 4 altogether should get those automatic bids, and not like Arizona State and Boise State, in my opinion.
yeah. I think keeping it in stack. I mean, this is a one-off year for Boise and Arizona State. Shout out to Genty for leading his team to this spot, but he's going after this year. They will not be back next year. I can stamp that right now. I can. I might put a bet on that myself right now that they will not make the CFP next year, even with another win in their conference championship. If they might be 12, well, they won't be this high ever again for a while. Not ever. I can't say ever.
He said,
For a while. For a while. I just this is a one off for them. I think it's kind of like that year that
you,
UCF
yeah, UCF,
when
yeah.
they had like a really good season. This is Boise's version of that. Like I said, Genty was just out of this world and nobody could stop him. So that's kind of why they are the way that they are. So I don't think that this will be an issue going forward because you won't have that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you like to say a lot of times, Colin, you gotta bring people back to reality. They'll be back to reality once Genty
Yeah,
gets drafted in a few months. So
that's true. So if y'all had to put like a prediction for an MVP for this first weekend, what player do you think is going to stand out?
hmm, it's gonna have to for me come from that Ohio State and Tennessee game. So if I'm gonna pick an MVP from that game, it's either gonna be Nico from Tennessee,
Yeah.
and if it's on Ohio State side, I'm not really fond of their quarterback. I don't really know too much about him either, though. But if they can win that game offensively, number four, you have to put that cape on, Mr.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
You have to put that cape on. So I would go him. Out of those, for me. It's gonna be the winner of that game because, like I said, that games won't be close to my personal opinion. So
Yeah. I'm gonna go Riley Leonard, honestly. Like I think that he's gonna at least get like 3 touchdowns. He's probably gonna have, a lot of rushing yards. And I
mhm.
think if it is the move your hand game, like he's gonna be the one star on that Notre Dame offense that drives them
Yeah,
forward. I know who you got.
Um, I think I'm gonna go with Quinn Ewers. I think he has the potential to have a big game. They got a lot of weapons. Isaiah Bond is a big one. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go Quinn Ewers.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a good weekend, man. I'm excited for it, man. It's a lot of sports on this weekend in general. Even outside of college, you got women's college basketball and NFL on Saturday, Friday, and Sunday. So it's gonna be packed, packed
Yeah.
weekend. No opportunities to get off that couch.
Where you going? I'm
I'm
at the
telling you,
crib
I'm at the crib
watching the
watching
games.
something. I'm watching something. Somebody on right now.
I mean, honestly, man, and we can talk about this in another episode, but like the football has won this Christmas season. Like the fact that NFL is going to be on Netflix and all these places, like nobody's talking about basketball at all, college or NBA. And I just feel like, man, moving forward, like if NFL keeps this same kind of schedule, man,
Hmm.
nobody's going to be caring about the place Christmas Day in the NBA. So yeah,
Not at all. I
Hey,
agree with that for
hey,
sure.
they already said the basketball rating is down, man, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Football's just more entertaining at this moment in time, bro. I like the stars, the publicity behind it. The men's college game, in my personal opinion, I don't know when they fell off, but a couple,
basketball.
yeah, men's college basketball. I don't know when they fell off, but they fell off. Me personally, like even I watched them like close to tournament time, but I didn't watch no men's tournament games last year. I
yeah,
don't even think I watched the national championship last year for men. So it's like I just had no desire to watch them. Like it just wasn't appeasing to me. But the women's side is taking over, so But that's like you said, this another podcast. We talking about CFP tonight, so we're gonna stay on task with that, man. It's a great weekend for CFP. I am excited about these games. We'll be locked in. When we come back next week and do the recap about how that move your hand game. Ooh wee, it's gonna be so
now
bad.
Indiana win.
If Indiana win,
I'm
hey,
gonna be quiet,
hey, I'll be quiet.
but if they lose,
If they
I'm gonna be
lose,
talking again.
talking again. I promise you. Don't let Clemson mess around and win. Ooh, we are on both of y'all head. Both of y'all head for sure.
That ain't happening,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
That ain't
Well,
happening.
let's
Like I
get
said,
it, man.
if you wanna put a bet on it, we can, bro.
Yeah, give the people what they want. Put 100 on it, John. Put
Now,
100.
now, like Hundo love to say, I'm not that confident right now, so I'm not gonna do it. I am not gonna do that to myself.
Bet responsibly.
I'm telling you, please place all bets responsibly. And if we need to, I can put the gambling number at the bottom of the tab, so you can call
1-800
too.
gambling.
If you need help, seek it.
Word. Wonder, you got anything, John? You got anything else?
Man, no, I'm done, man. I got all my stuff out. Can't wait. Locked in, man. Y'all put your predictions in the comments. Put your predictions in the chat box. Repost, share, like, comment, subscribe to the winning shot. We locked in.
For sure. Y'all tune in next week. We're going to give our recap. It's going to be the movie at hand game for John. And we're going to go through every game, give analysis, and look forward to the second round.
Amen.
Go Dogs.
Oh, we got to talk about being a fraud.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Fraud Hundo.
Yeah, fraud
this man ain't picked Georgia the whole season.
The whole season. He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Now he Urcha Walker. Word.
No, brother. No, brother. That brother's a coon.
Yep. See, try to cut it off.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on next.